Deadpool 2 is the follow-up to the 2016 smash hit Deadpool, only this time director Tim Miller is not returning. Instead, we have co-director of John Wick and director of Atomic Blonde, David Leitch. And this movie once again follows the merc with the mouth, Wade Wilson, as he tries to protect a young boy from a time-traveling cyborg known as Cable. As I said, 2016's Deadpool was a huge surprise, not only critically but financially as well, now being the worldwide record holder for the highest grossing rated R movie of all time. So of course it was a no-brainer that they were going to follow it up with what I assumed is a budget probably twice that of its predecessor. But leading up to this film, I was cautiously optimistic because Deadpool at its core is a comedy, and comedy sequels don't typically do very well. But thankfully, Deadpool 2 has a lot more to offer than just jokes. With the addition of David Leitch, this movie has some really gruesome and badass action scenes. This film leans heavily on prominent themes in most Deadpool stories, his obsession with self-mutilation and this reliance on to tear his body apart in order to accomplish his mission. David Leitch is able to craft some hilariously gory moments in this film, as well as a really riveting chase sequence. And much like the 2016 film, Ryan Reynolds again is pitch perfect as Wade Wilson. Fox has seemed to really strike gold in finding another performer who seems to be born to portray this character, much like Hugh Jackman was with Wolverine. Watching this film, even down to the voice and the costume, it's like this movie literally tore Deadpool straight out of the comics. And really the only issue that I have with this interpretation of this character is another issue that I had with the 2016 film, and I just wish that Wade Wilson is a bit uglier, because in the comics his skin is rotting off of his face. He's horrifying to look at, but in this movie he's just kind of bald and a little wrinkly. Josh Brolin portrays the time-traveling cyborg Cable in this film, and I have to admit, when they first announced that Josh Brolin would be portraying this character, I was a bit nervous. Now, I love Josh Brolin, I think he's a terrific actor, but I just didn't know if he would have the physicality necessary to portray Nathan Summers. But I'll give credit where credit is due. He got absolutely ripped for this movie, more so than I was expecting for someone of his age. And Brolin does a really great job as this character. They nailed the dynamic that he has with Wade, and I really hope that he will be a prominent character moving forward for this franchise. But despite the fact how big Josh Brolin was able to get for this movie, he still looks pretty tiny. Especially, there's a shot in this movie when he is standing right next to Deadpool, and you can tell that Brolin is like 4 inches shorter than Ryan Reynolds. And that's not really an issue that I have with Josh Brolin. That's more of the direction of this film, and I feel like there are some camera techniques that could have been imposed here that would have made him look more physically imposing. Zazie Beetz portrays Domino, and in this film I thought she was a real standout. I loved her interpretation of this character, and I really felt she was able to make it her own. I loved how they portrayed her power in this film, and I love how they were able to incorporate her comic book design onto the big screen. Now, being a sequel to Deadpool, something of course that you're going to expect in this movie is a lot of pop culture references as well as a lot of dick jokes. And to my surprise, thankfully, a lot of those jokes don't wear thin when watching this movie. This still feels like a fresh character. However, with that being said, I don't know if I would feel that way with another sequel to this film. I don't know if Deadpool 3 is really that necessary. I think that this character of Wade Wilson works best when he is with other people as a team. That's why I would be looking forward to the idea of an X-Force movie, or just kind of a buddy cop with him and somebody else. And that brings me to my next point. Depending where Fox is at in talks to merging with Disney, I really don't know what's going to happen with these characters. I think after watching Logan and especially X-Men Apocalypse, I don't know how against I would be to the idea of a reboot of sorts. But even if Marvel Studios does reboot these movies, I do not want the X-Men to interact with the established MCU. With that universe that we have established, I just don't see where the X-Men really fit into that really at all. I would just love to see a normal X-Men movie with comic book accurate suits that doesn't focus on the Dark Phoenix saga, that doesn't focus solely on Magneto, and hopefully, for the love of God, doesn't focus on Apocalypse anytime soon. But with Deadpool 2, like the first film, this movie is full of tons of laughs, great action, but most importantly, heart. Because at the core of this movie is an emotionally resonant film that deals with a lot of themes, mostly involving family. This This interpretation of Deadpool proves to be one of the most accurate portrayals of a superhero that we have seen, and I'm very intrigued to see what happens from here. But before I wrap up this review, I want to introduce a new segment when I'm reviewing superhero films. I want to do some comic book recommendations that if you enjoyed these characters, you might also enjoy these comic books that these movies are loosely based off of. If you enjoyed Deadpool in this film, I would recommend Deadpool number 11 with Great Power Comes Great Coincidence, Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe, Deadpool Dead Presidents, and Deadpool The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. If you enjoyed Cable, I'd recommend that you check out Cable number 1 through 4, Cable Messiah War, as well as Cable and Deadpool If Looks Could Kill. And if you want to catch up on some reading of X-Force as well as Domino, then I'd recommend that you check out Uncanny X-Force, Apocalypse Solution, X-Force Volume 1, Angels and Demons, and X-Force Volume 2, Old Ghosts. So make sure you check those out if you haven't. But did you see Deadpool 2? What did you think about it? Leave your thoughts and opinions down below. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching today. I hope you liked today's video, and if you did, you can click on the link down below and subscribe to my channel to see more movie reviews and movie-related things. And you guys, thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.